Welcome back to another explainer. I am super pumped for this one because we're tackling something that literally impacts every single one of you stepping into the arena right now. Today, we're breaking down the ultimate Brawl Stars ranked meta tier list. We are going to systematically rank every major meta brawler into S, A, B, and C tiers based on the absolute latest shifts in the game. We'll explore exactly why they sit where they do, and I'll even be revealing which brawlers are secretly overpowered in the current landscape. Let's get right into it.
Okay, let's dive into this, because I know a lot of you might be feeling this very specific pain point. Are you losing trophies lately, and you just can't quite figure out why? You're playing well, your shots are landing, but man, the matches are just slipping away? Well look, if you're still relying on the exact same brawlers from last season, that is precisely the reason you're dropping ranks, without even realizing it. The reality we have to face is pretty simple. The Brawl Stars meta has completely changed, like night and day. What worked a few weeks ago, yeah, that's no longer the blueprint for victory. We've got to adapt. So we're going to go through the current hierarchy step by step so you can start getting those wins again. Oh, and definitely stick with me through this entire explainer, because the final pick in this exact ranking, it might honestly shock you. All right, we're starting right at the very top. S tier, the Unstoppables. These are literally the highest impact brawlers in the game right now. When you lock these in, you're giving your squad a massive, and frankly, secretly overpowered advantage before the match even begins. These are your absolute game changers. Let's move to and see how this builds, because here they are, the 8 absolute titans of the S tier. Shade, Kenji, Juju, Clancy, Mo, Lumi, Ollie, and Finks. This right here is your premier roster for totally dominating ranked. Let's break down exactly what makes these specific brawlers so overwhelmingly powerful. Let's kick things off with Shade, who is undoubtedly one of the strongest in the game right now. As the source perfectly states, Shade has amazing mobility, incredible damage, and can pressure almost every matchup. That combination is just lethal. Honestly, if your team drafts Shade correctly, your chances of winning just skyrocket. You're basically dictating the pace of the entire match. Next up on the hit list, we've got Kenji and Juju. Kenji absolutely dominates because of his insanely high survivability mixed with this incredible burst damage. He instantly punishes literally any mistake the enemy makes, and to be honest, he's incredibly tough to counter unless the other team specifically drafts against him. And then you have Juju, who brings insane map control to the table. Her abilities make it so hard for enemies to move freely, and because of that, she slots seamlessly into almost every single game mode. Moving down our S tier list, we hit Clancy. So, the crucial point is this. Clancy scales throughout the match and becomes nearly unstoppable once fully powered. This is a brawler that really puts your opponent on the clock. A good Clancy player can completely take over a game as the match progresses, turning what was a really close fight into an absolute blowout. Then we've got Mo and Lumi. Mo continues to be one of the safest, yet undeniably strongest picks you can make in ranked right now. He brings excellent damage, super strong utility, and most importantly, reliable consistency. You'll always know exactly what you're getting with Mo. Lumi, on the flip side, has become a massive favorite among top players, and it all boils down to her versatility. Whether you're attacking or defending, Lumi just performs exceptionally well in both scenarios. Rounding out our S-tier monsters, we have Ollie and Finks. Ollie gives you this great survivability alongside excellent pressure, which naturally translates into fantastic teamfight potential. He just anchors a team beautifully. And finally, Finks. If you play Finks correctly, you can completely dominate games. The combo of massive damage output and incredible control, it makes Finks an absolute terror for the opposing team to deal with. So that's our S tier. But as we transition, it's super important to understand the actual line between the tiers. S tier brawlers are your unstoppable game changers. The A tier brawlers, which we're about to look at, are still amazing, make no mistake, but they just have a few more counters. They aren't quite as universally dominant in every single scenario as those S-tier titans. Welcome to the A tier, reliable and strong. These brawlers aren't fundamentally broken or overpowered by any means, but they're still truly amazing choices for your ranked matches. They will absolutely get the job done if you play to their strengths. Looking at the first half of our A tier, we see some incredibly reliable picks, spanning from supports like Gus to heavy damage dealers like Pearl and Surge. The real secret to maximizing this group's potential, which also includes Chester, Rico, and Jean, is understanding that they excel on certain maps or within specific team comps. When you play them where they actually belong, they shine brilliantly.
The rest of the A tier features precise marksmen like Belle and Nani, right alongside controllers like Amber, Byron, Meg, and Gray. Just like that first group, they can definitely carry games and you can absolutely climb high with them. But remember, unlike the S tier, you're gonna run into a few more hard counters here. You just have to be a little more mindful of what the enemy team is drafting when you lock these picks in. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the clear distinction in safety as we step down the ladder. A tier brawlers are your reliable ranked carries, for sure, but as we move into the B tier, we're talking about brawlers that heavily require favorable maps and excellent positioning to succeed. The margin for error just drops significantly. And that brings us right to the B tier, which is all about skill and positioning. Now, these brawlers are perfectly playable, so definitely don't write them off completely. But they do require a significantly higher skill ceiling and much better situational awareness if you actually want to dominate the game.
Kicking off the B tier, we've got brawlers where precision is quite literally everything. In the right hands, a great Piper or a perfectly aimed Colt can absolutely dominate a lobby. However, this entire group, which also includes Brock, 8-Bit, Jessie, and Sandy, are absolutely not safe blind picks. If you pick them too early without knowing the map or the enemy team, you might find yourself heavily countered and really struggling to make an impact.
The rest of our B tier is rounded out by playmakers and zone controllers like Max, Tara, and Buster, along with Ems, Spike, and Frank. Now, these are solid characters, but they heavily rely on better positioning to succeed in the current meta. A misplaced Frank or a poorly timed Tara super? That's going to be punished way harder today than it might have been last season. You just have to be precise. And finally, we reach the bottom of the current meta, the C tier, the strugglers. These are the brawlers that, right now, simply struggle against today's strongest picks. The meta has just completely shifted away from what makes them effective.
Looking at the C tier, we find a lot of classic close range and thrower brawlers, Shelly, Bull, El Primo, Dynamite, as well as Barley and Poco. Now, let's be super clear here. These characters can still be a total blast to play, and they can absolutely work in very specific niche situations. But if your primary goal is pushing ranked or climbing trophies efficiently, locking these in is just not the best use of your time right now. Rounding out the bottom of the meta are picks like Bo, Edgar, and Doug, alongside Rosa, Jackie, and Hank. It's basically the same story here. While you might pull off a great play here and there are simply much better options available in the higher tiers for efficiently climbing. You're pretty much fighting an uphill battle from the exact moment the match starts. So that is the complete ranked meta tier list laid out for you. But as we wrap up, remember this crucial point. Adapting to the meta is key, because no tier list is absolutely perfect. Different maps and game modes can completely change how strong a specific brawler feels. Like a B tier brawler might actually play like an S tier on one specific map. Context is everything.
And this brilliantly illustrates that the meta is this living, breathing thing. So I want to pass the question over to you directly from our source material today. Which brawler deserves S tier? Which one do you think was ranked too low in this analysis? It is so crucial to keep analyzing and discussing this because, every single balance update changes the meta all over again. Keep these tiers in mind, draft smart, adapt to your maps, and you will stop losing those mysterious trophies and finally start climbing the ranks.